We've all been there. That moment of panic when you realize you've left your charger somewhere. But where? Is it in your hotel room, your rental car? Wherever it is, your battery is dying, and now you're stuck. But now you never have to worry about leaving your charger behind with the brand new Charger Leash. It's preset to ring as soon as you unplug your device. The alarm helps to remind you to unplug your cord and take it with you, ensuring you're never on the go without power. It's also a great anti-theft device that alerts you if someone else unplugs your phone at a public charging station, at an airport, or a convention center. Never get stuck with a dead battery again. Charger Leash.
I joined because I just love being in a team where everybody kind of has the same likes and differences, because we all kind of are nerdy and like to game and have fun.
I believe in STEM. I think it's great for kids. It's hands-on. It teaches them how to problem solve.
I want to be a robotics engineer when I grow up, and I feel like this will give me a good thing to put on my college application, and B, will give me a good jump start on programming and building robots.
Welcome. We are back. -1. Nikki is out. She's under the weather. We wish her speedy recovery. We'll miss her. But I am here with the usual crew. Miss Pixie, whichever way she is. Kim, Regality TX.
Hey, what's up?
And Page 6.
Hi.
And me, your host, Shrivasta, or Carmen, whichever you want to call me. We have a pretty normal show. We got some topics we're going to talk about. If you guys are new to the show, we get to pick whatever we want. Each host picks a topic that interests them, and we discuss it as a roundtable, and then we ask you what you think. So please be sure to put those questions down in the chat. Our chat moderators will make sure that we know what you're asking, and we can answer those, as well as live tweet us. Twitter handle will be thrown up in the chat by producer Ian. And we're going to start the show off with some sad news today. I don't know if Nikki was here, she would kind of get this. We have Gary Owens passed away, and if you're not familiar with who he is, he's the voice of Space Ghost and Sesame Street announcer. And I pretty much grew up with this man in my life throughout my childhood, and he passed today. So we want to send our condolences to his friends and family, from us to you. I know it's a trying time, but we are sending our well wishes. He will be missed by a lot of us geeks. Ladies, if you guys want to say anything, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I definitely grew up with Space Ghost. And, not even the Cartoon Network. I mean, the Adult Swim show, like Space Ghost. And it was, we were talking about that in my family this week. And it's kind of crazy that you don't realize how much sometimes somebody affected your life until they passed away. And I definitely felt that with Owens. It's a shame.
I have to say that his work will live on through a lot of the shows and things that he's done, and he's influenced a lot of us by his creativity and his knowledge. And he was gracious enough to share that with a lot of people and mentor some younger people. We need more people like that in the industry, willing to share that knowledge and willing to pass it on without having to be, be very in the spotlight, because he wasn't that type of person. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's really sad. You grow up with someone Even just like television. You grow up with something and you never realize what it's like until it's gone. Um, and it sucks. Like, well, I mean, it sucks. Um, I can't even, like, I don't know.
Yeah, he meant a lot to us in a different ways for each of us. And I think we're going to move on to some more uplifting topics, so we don't get the whole chat crying. We get some crying emotes in the chat.
We get the Bible thumps.
Yeah, Bible thumbs coming out.
Hug me, please.
hugs,
Yeah.
hugs for all, right? So let's start with Paige.
All right. Well, this news is a little old, but it was really important to me. Sony Online Entertainment was sold off last week, and they became Daybreak Game Company.
Interesting.
And they said that they weren't going to kind of change the company up too much, that the game's going to remain the same, and then they ended up laying off hundreds of people this past week, which I had a source tell me that, but they weren't affiliated, so I wasn't able to really confirm it, and I was really hoping that wasn't true. And unfortunately, it seems to be the way with a lot of these companies. And, games are getting bigger, video games are getting bigger, but it seems like they're not hiring as many people and people are losing their jobs. It's a huge industry and no one seems to be reaping the benefits of it. A small group of people are. It's kind of scary. I don't know. What do you think, ladies?
I can confirm that I've heard also that there were a lot of people laid off and jobs or lost. I have to say, like any other layoff, whether it be our community, the gaming studios, we're hoping that those great talented people will be picked up somewhere else and their skills moved on and interpreted in other things that we enjoy and other games that we enjoy. Because there were some really, really talented people that lost their jobs and some people that were very surprised by the fact that they no longer employed by this particular studio. But
Yeah.
that is nature of the beast for what we do. It does happen, and it happens rather quickly because of things like this, mergers, takeovers, and or just altogether cutting particular projects. I'm very interested in how things are going to progress with Landmark and EQ franchise. See how that's going to be affected. What do you think, Kim?
To be honest, I've heard a lot of stuff circling around it. Because H1Z1 apparently was SOE.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think, hey, maybe H1Z1 is going to be a better game now. And I don't know personally. I feel that I'm hurting for the people that lost their jobs that weren't expecting it. Because
And I'll definitely I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kim. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's all right. That was just a bum rush for them, I'm sure. And hopefully we can take something out of this and make it worthwhile, but who knows at this point in the game? It's too early to tell.
There's people were surprised also largely because H1Z1 is so successful. It's a very successful game so far. And earlier this year, I don't know, couldn't have been more than 3-4 months ago, SOE made a plan where if you purchased this umbrella package, you were able to get premium benefits on all these games, like PlanetSide and DC Universe Online. And it kind of brought in a lot of consumers, and then they sold it off, which is another thing that people are, I play DC Universe Online. I have for years. I love that game. And I know that I'm definitely worried about what that game's going to turn into. There's not as many people in it anymore as there used to be, or they're more in the end game stuff and the DLC stuff. But still, me and my boyfriend combined have put a lot of money into that game.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's the nature of those sorts of games in a way, but when you see them kind of doing things that makes you feel like they're innovating them to bring more people in, you don't expect it to be dropped like that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely shocking for a lot of people.
I'm not shocked.
Mm.
In any way, shape, or form. When companies dissolve or merge or are bought out, there's pretty much always layoffs that ensue. And it's because in some places they have in mind who they want for what. And in some ways it's purely like cost benefit analysis. I hate to say that, but it's all economics. And what it comes down to is it comes down to money. And to be honest, I think Sony doing this was really smart. It allows Sony to go back and focus on other things, which gives them time to develop games and, you know, put out really good stuff for PlayStation and PC.
Yeah.
And it gives another company with a track record of successful investment, you know, the ability to pull of these games, to continue development on games, and to really try to get a resurgence in some of the places where money was, in my opinion, probably not being gained in the way it should have been, or even could have been. And I think that's what they're trying to do, and I think that's probably where a lot of layoffs come from. And honestly, it just, for me, it's not shocking. Like, it sucks, but that's kind of the nature of the business and kind of the nature of technology. New things come in, and you can kind of roll with the punches, and you can learn, but you can only do so much. And eventually, like, you're probably going to be, you know, last year's iPhone, and somebody's gonna return you. Like,
Whew, what an analogy there. It works though. We get it. We get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was to the point. Thank you very much. Drops the mic. Pixie does.
Dropping truth bombs, and then she just gets out. See you later.
Oh man, that was good. Oh, that was good. All right, so I guess we'll move on to Kim's feature because there's nothing else to be said unless somebody in chat's got something they really need to get off their chest. Like Lethal is on fire today. I mean, whoo! Somebody riled him up. Put his pants on fire before he came in here. Who stole his ice cream?
I think it's Tiara. What is it? Tiara Lay. So it's gonna be interesting to see if we ever see EverQuest next, or if it will even be what they have been advertising.
Well, they said that it will be. They said that everything's going to go along as planned, but who really knows?
Yeah.
That was one of my first questions about the EverQuest Next. Was one of my first questions too when I heard about them. When I heard about it, it's kind of crazy.
Let's see if there's anything else in here. I mean, Lethal Salty. That boyfriend. He's like, nah, I'm out. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Lethal is all traumatized now. She meant she's single. That's what she meant. Paige, come on, work with me here. That boyfriend's gone.
There's no boyfriend here. No.
Get rid of him for the show.
Yeah.
Or become last year's
She said
iPhone
sugar daddy.
Paige.
She said sugar daddy. That's what she said, right?
All right.
I'm a little disturbed by, like, I don't care if there's a kappa at the end of it or not. Like, asking what an iPhone and a PlayStation are, and then equating them to horrible diseases, while not totally inaccurate. Apple's the spawn of Satan, by the way. Just my opinion. Like, I'm truly disturbed, Lethal. I'm just... the kappa doesn't help. It just doesn't.
Yeah, we have a lot.
Gonna make Pixie cry. Quit it.
All right.
Man.
So there's been a lot of buzz about my topic for today, and I definitely hopped on it when I saw it, and I just can't believe it. So a live-action Zelda series is rumored to hit Netflix. So like I said, there's been a lot of buzz around it because Zelda. I mean, come on. I was excited. Yeah. And so, you know, we've had our ups and downs with Zelda. being recreated into another format besides a video game. Just gonna mention that really awful animated series that we had. Yeah. And then, we got pranked on April Fool's that one year by the live action Zelda movie trailer. So it's kind of been just some downs for us when it comes to that. And so it hasn't been either confirmed or denied that Netflix is actually going to be doing this by Netflix and by Nintendo as well. So my questions to you ladies are, how do you think that this Zelda series is going to work out? Because it's going to be a Netflix original series. Netflix has had some pretty good success with its original series, such as House of Cards and Orange is the New Black.
Orange is the New Black.
Yeah. Do you think that they're going to be able to pull that off? Are you ready for it? And also, I've also seen some really, really interesting castings that I think will get a lot of people riled up about this. The castings that I have seen, there have been females playing Link. There have been African American women casted as Zelda. It's just a bunch of kind of back to the Ghost in the Shell thing that we talked about. Do we stick to the same sort of gender and race, or do we go outside of that box? So, what do you think about it, Paige?
First of all, I kind of like that Link doesn't have a voice. One of my fears coming, yeah.
That was a thing I forgot to mention. Yeah, that's a big point.
One of my fears going into this is I'm afraid that if it would do well, Nintendo would start giving Link a voice in the games. There's times when I play Link as a girl, I give her a girl name and I play her as a girl. There's times when, and my boyfriend has done that too. Sorry guys to mention him again. I know it's a sore topic. And
we're still grieving.
You're traumatizing them.
The whole I'm so tired of excuse me princess jokes. Sensitive news.
I was just avoiding the excuse me princess.
Hashtag.
And I actually, my first interview that I've ever done as a journalist was with an author named Jeff Ryan. He wrote a book called Super Mario: How Nintendo Conquered America. And he was telling me that it was an intentional marketing strategy to only license out Mario and Mario IP. And that there's a reason, because I was saying to him, Zelda's so visually appealing and it has great design elements. Why do you think Nintendo didn't try to broaden their market by selling more Zelda merchandise? And they are very adamant about having Mario be their face. I would be legitimately surprised if they let Netflix handle a series, especially a live-action series with Link. Mm-hmm. They don't necessarily need that. Zelda is so successful. And with their track record, I don't know if that would be more reward than risk. What do you think?
I think I would have to agree on that. And I had read a bunch of articles on it, and that was a key point that somebody had brought up. Why would they need Netflix? Why do they even need this at all? Mm-hmm. And back to what you had said about that they wanted to just pretty much exclusively license Mario.
That was the 80s, things are different. There's definitely, it's not the same, and not for anything, but that live action Mario movie is probably one of my favorite movies from my childhood. It could be great for children, and it could be great for adults too if it's done well. I mean, there was once upon a time when they would stop at a comic book series having that kind of attention, but I think that there's something special, especially about Link not having a voice once again, and I think that that's really what holds me back the most. I think that limits how important, all the different Links are, and that lore is to a lot of gamers. I mean, I'm playing 2 Zelda games right now as we speak. I play Zelda games all the time, and I don't know, I'm very possessive of my Zelda stuff.
Yeah, that's the same thing with me. I was just kind of like, because I'm such a big Zelda person. Mm-hmm. So, Shriv, what do you think about it?
It's one of those things where it could be go horribly wrong, or it could be epic. and it changes the way, we watch TV with being Hulu. We're not watching I should say, we're not watching as much TV in real time anymore. We're watching more TV on Netflix and uh, Hulu and those streaming services versus prime time, as well as most of us are watching Twitch. We're here, so it's one of those things where I want to do a wait and see. Now there have been a lot of chatter on the interwebs about potential casting, Dreamcast, the mockery of the cast, and people's picks. So it's interesting to see who people have in their mind's eye for these epic characters being Zelda and Link. I just made a new word. Um, in some of them, I'm just like, really? That really? Okay. Let me think about that one. No, not so much, but that's just my opinion. And I think we're going to continue to see that over time as this progresses. And I think that if anybody's going to do it, I think Hulu can pull it off because they don't have as much of a restriction as another network like, Fox, where everything goes to die, would have. What do you think, Pixie?
Okay. So there are a couple of things. As much as Netflix may be the choice for this, don't do Netflix. HBO. HBO touches, like, seriously, HBO is Midas, right?
Midas.
They touch something and that shit turns to gold. Like, I can't think of a single bad HBO series.
Yeah, but do you think that Nintendo would put their image with HBO?
I don't know why it would be a big deal for them to.
I don't think they would because of
rule that they need a topless girl in every HBO show.
I think that they would be
contract.
they would feel HBO is a bit taboo for them because they are a bit racy and semi-adult oriented with some of their programming because they are. HBO is known for that, so Nintendo would not go there. Sorry, guys.
But, like, if you want something done right, HBO is, like, the network to go to, in my opinion.
No,
like,
I'm not disagreeing with that.
I don't know that Netflix would be bad, but the problem is Zelda is so iconic.
Yeah,
you're taking a huge icon who has been around so long, and you're literally, like, throwing it to the wolves. You can't do that. Like, when you're trying to take something that's, like, a mass of people love, people are going to think about what they grew up with. They're going to think about, all of the Zelda games they've played. They're going to think about all of the things that, like, they love about Zelda games. And they're going to want to see that in every single episode of every show. So, like, you have to consider that, like, people are harsher on things when it's something that they love and that they, like, have similarities with, or that they feel, really, like, correlates with something within them. And so I think no matter what, like, yeah, it could turn out to be epic, but I don't think it would matter because I think people are going to be so harsh on it from the get-go. I think it's too risky to be done in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So if you think it's too risky,
Pyro
do you
has
think
a really,
that they
really
shouldn't
good,
do it at all?
Comment?
Go ahead.
He said the thing is that HBO tends to do adult audience shows where nudity where nudity and violence and cursing isn't an issue, and Nintendo is family oriented. So I do think that is a good point that he brought up.
My counterpoint to that would be Nintendo could legitimately hire just a couple of producers from HBO to produce the Zelda show. And then, you know what they could do? Disney, Cartoon Network, bam.
I don't think they want to share their profits with Disney, but what I think that they could do is what Xbox tried to do with that Halo show and failed. Mm-hmm. I think that Nintendo could make a network on their devices. Imagine watching a Zelda show on your Wii U screen. Think about that. That is where I think, and they could hire and have complete control over all of it.
Excuse me,
But-
Nintendo, you need to hire me and Paige because we'll get this done.
Hey, they got to go through me first. Contracts got to be negotiated. Listen, Nintendo, we give
Yeah,
you
we'll
that one
solve
for
all
free,
your problems.
and then you got to come back. After that, first one's free.
And my D's though. So
Oh.
That would work. That would
Mal
work.
says,
and then you could legitimately hire like HBO producers and directors and writers, and you could get gold. Oh my god, we need to go
Kim,
work for Nintendo
they
for
could
this
ask
now.
for that.
Kim,
telling you.
read that comment by Mal, because that's, you got to read it with the inflection that he's trying to throw down in the channel, because he just laid it out for Pixie right there. That's a good comment right there.
All I have to say about this comment is bombs over Baghdad. That's what I do. I jump bombs all day.
Oh man, we are happy to be back, guys, and we're happy that
Yeah.
you regulars are here. You guys keep us
I will
entertained. And
irradiate
that chat
this.
fresh.
No
That
kidding.
chat fresh. Whew. I don't even know where to go after that
I
one.
really like that song.
Apparently so.
I do. It's a really old song. It's like, oh god, what's the song where it's like the roof
The roof is on fire. Paige,
Yeah.
you don't need no water. At the beep.
Burn, yeah. I love that song. We're going straight
Anyway,
old
no
school.
one got in on it. Me and Pixie are just jamming out. Rest of you. All right, now that we're off on that tangent, let's any other chat epic bombs that are being dropped by these chat folks up in there, Kim or Pixie, because that was nice.
You don't with people's nostalgia. Yes. 100%. You do not do that.
That's why I knew this is gonna cause fires everywhere. I was like, oh god, it hurts.
Yeah, it's almost too big to do that. But I mean, if they did it and they did it well, and I think that we're in an era where it could potentially be done well. It's not beyond the scope of reality that it could be done well. It's just Nintendo would have to be really smart about it, and they'd have to be a little risky. And Nintendo, yeah,
Teenage
progressive.
Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles changes with every generation. They act like the teenagers of that generation, and every time that happens, the last generation gets pretty mad. So, I mean, you know, there's always a risk in that level of pop culture, and I think part of that comes with giving voices and personalities, and I think that that's a huge reason why Link is timeless. And you can pick up the game era, and
But do you not think that people would try to like stylize Zelda into like modern times?
Well, yeah, and that's
Which I think
exactly
is
the
a
same-
huge issue.
And like also,
but that's not the same as a personality and a voice. People what they imagine you sound like versus what you can look like
Excuse me.
is, you know, it's like reading a book and watching a movie. You know, 3 people could read a book and have different experiences with that book, and then they cast the movie, and 2 of those people could be mad. At least one of them is going to be because it's still a matter of your imagination and your personal connection. But I don't disagree with you. I don't think that it's a terrible idea. You know, I have a lot of reservations about it.
yeah, and I mean, and like also the thing is kind of going back to the stylizing and all that stuff. Like, you know, it's not necessarily stylizing it to the time frame that we live in, but you know, there are some people that want to cast Link as a woman, as a female.
Mm.
So,
well, there's always going to be that.
Yeah, and you know, I think that there would definitely be a lot of backlash for that. A lot. I think that there would be a lot of backlash for that, and I mean, I don't know. It's like, and like you said, Link is just so timeless. Do you want to cast Link as a female? So, I don't know. There's some interesting stuff coming out of this, and I keep looking at it like, oh god, this gets worse by the day.
Okay, wait a minute. Go to the annex, said 2 out of 5 are dykes. Here's what I have to say. What's wrong with fractures in existing rock bodies, bro? Because, like, let me tell you something. These rock bodies are rocking.
Oh my god.
Facts! I'm sorry.
You made me choke. Woo! Oh, I almost spit the tea out my nose.
That ripped, though.
That hurt. Oh. Whew. Okay. Where do I go from there?
You have an interesting topic, Carmen.
I do. And
guys, my eyes really hurt. I think I need to get some computer glasses.
You think? There's only a couple of companies that you can get those things from.
You are not one. It's me. Please.
We are in rare form tonight.
We are too excited to be here. We are too excited.
This is the day off reunion. We missed a week, so now we're.
We do work out. We absolutely do. We're absolutely 100% like LMFAO in this bitch.
So I'm gonna go ahead and close this here raffle for this giveaway, guys, because there's a lot of you in channel right now, and everybody's putting in their tickets. If you haven't put your ticket in, I'm giving you about another 10 seconds. Okay, so if you don't understand how, read the chat at the bottom. Bingo, bango. We're gonna select somebody. They're gonna get a Primal Carnage key. Raffle's about to close, and then I think Pixie, you can see the chat. You can yell out the winner's name there.
I got it.
Right. You got it. You got it. All right. So we're talking about those gaming glasses. Those cool spectacles you can get if you're streaming like Pixie does, or now Six and Kim on an everyday basis, or when you feel so inclined, so you can stop that glare. They're really good for your eyes. You're not going to have that eye strain. And they come in some really cool designs, right? And they're for girls now, too. So we don't have to wear something that's big and bulky.
For girls.
So which leads me to my next story. Great segue, Pixie. Everybody's heard of, or maybe you haven't, Gunner. Big name in the eyewear, especially for us gamers. They're a big company, lots of sales, pretty high up in the market. There's another company, a little guy by the name of No Scope. Maybe you've heard of them, maybe you haven't. Makes glasses, sponsors a lot of streamers. And they're being sued by Gunner. And the reason why is something pretty interesting, and we felt that we needed to bring this to your guys' attention so that you can kind of make your own decision, draw your own conclusion if you think this is, well, just fucked up. So that little glasses company by the name of No Scope they're being sued by Gunner, huge epic brand, and they're claiming that they have a patent on yellow tinted glasses. You heard it right. Yellow tinted glasses.
I made a gift for this.
Wait, you have a gift? Can I please see it? Give me the gift magic.
Oh my god.
I'm kind of flabbergasted and very opinionated about this because I just have to say, no fucking way, Gunner. Are you serious? Come on. Yellow tinted glasses? That's my opinion. Me, Shrivasta, your host, CEO, Roundtable Media. All opinions of our own, not subject to the company, but I am the company, and I say, hell to the no. Why? Who do you think you are? Yellow tinted glasses. Are you God? Have Jesus just come down and said, but bam, I now can say that I am taking over the whole market? It doesn't work that way. Thanks for the follow. So I am siding with the little guy on this behalf, and I'm glad that they're standing up and saying, no, we are not going to just walk away. We're not going to allow you to pressure us to fold because you have big legal representation and the money to be able to just crush us. Whew, thanks for the follow. And I'm up in arms, and I really want to make sure that we get you the latest and greatest information on this story and keep you up to date. Our own page 6 will be doing a article on the website to keep you up to date, as well as a full-on interview with the CEO of No Scope, to just kind of tell the story as it should be told with both sides. Now, we did reach out to Gunner, and I'm going to let you, Paige, go ahead and talk about that.
It's up here, but it's not working for me. So I've been researching this. I have some notes, actually. I've been working on this article for the last week, pretty relentlessly, in between some big interviews that I had. It's been taking up a lot of my time because I really want to understand where Gunner Optics is coming from here. It is my understanding, I'll put this out here, that there are Supreme Court decisions which have set a precedent that you cannot copyright a design. You cannot copyright a concept. You can copyright something specific, like if you made this shape of glasses, you can copyright this shape, but if somebody does something and makes it a little bit different, they can't tell you that you can't make it because you made your own design inspired by or in any way of that. The same thing with phones. There's a lot of dispute over phone designs in recent years. Marvel was sued by DC once upon a time when they came out and Marvel was creating new superheroes, and DC said, no, we have the copyright on superheroes. We have the patent on superheroes. And the Supreme Court ruled that you can copyright specific IP, but you cannot copyright a concept. You cannot copyright an idea. Gunner Optics claims that they have the patent for tinted glasses and these specific frame types, designer frame types, because they are specifically gamer glasses. Ugh. So even though you have all different types of designs and tints in any other glasses industry, because they are specifically for fighting the glare of a computer for people who have eye strain and headaches, chronic headaches from dealing with computers and television screens, that they can patent having red frames or yellow tints, or the curvature in the frame specifically, in the lens, is what they are copywriting. The curvature of the lens and the tint. Here in comes No Scope, who are creating quality glasses. I've never tried them, but they're doing well. I don't think that they would be doing well if they weren't quality, for much cheaper. And they have created a tinted competitive brand, and Gunner Optics, who has shut down other companies trying to do this before, bought them out before it ever went to cart, is pressing them to stop creating these glasses. I have reached out to No Scope, and I have reached out to Gunner, offering them interviews. Gunner Optics has not responded to me or any of my inquiries, and No Scope has. So I'm trying very hard to study these precedent cases for the Supreme Court, study them in different fields, try to figure out what the rulings are, and there's so many patent cases that it's been a little overwhelming. And I have been trying to track them down and get these interviews. And pretty soon I'm going to, unfortunately, probably have to publish just one interview and say that I have reached out to the other competitor and they are not answering me. So it's kind of shady to me that they don't even want to answer if they think they have press inquiries, and I have contacted anybody I could. And it makes me wonder, are they just trying to intimidate people to shut down competition are they based in America? Do they believe in capitalism? Do they understand? Do they understand the concept of why we can't have monopolies? You know, even though the MTA is practically a monopoly in Manhattan, you can't shut down competition. There's still other places that try to compete and try to give services. And I don't mean to ramble on and on about this. I feel very passionately about these kinds of cases. So, I don't know, Pixie, what do you think? I'll bring it over to you.
So the truth is, patents are incredibly fickle in the way that they're, in my opinion, issued, and in the way that they're put into place. I think it's entirely possible that Gunnar Optics has a utility and design patent on their glasses that is being violated. I think that's entirely possible. What does this mean? This means no-scope glasses might have to change the curvature of their frame slightly, or they might have to partner with another glasses company like Oakley, for instance. Big name brand, everybody knows them. For years, their sunglasses were like all anybody freaking wore. But the simple fact is you can go to almost any place right now and you can pick up a pair of curved yellow tinted glasses. So for me personally, this is an issue of there's another company who's doing the same thing. I, as the bigger company and the more well-known and respected company, basically want to shut them down because I want that money. They're getting money that I'm not getting now because they're taking a piece of my pie. And I think that's an issue. That's not the way stuff works. You have to truly infringe upon a patent for there to be any legal precedent. Is it possible they are? Absolutely. Do I know what their patent is? No. I don't know anything about Gunnar's patent.
Yeah, I was looking into it. It's specifically like for the gaming. They want to patent the curvature of the lens and the tint for gaming glasses specifically.
Is the patent in effect? Is it valid?
Yeah. Is it?
But supposedly No Scope has a patent as well. So right now they have a confliction.
Well,
Gunnar
that's
is very
an issue with the patent
very
office.
adamant.
Like
That's an issue with the patent office. Yeah.
Yeah. Or somebody's lying,
and they're taking
like about that whole thing. They're trying to cover
Gunnar
it up and say,
is
no, I
very,
can't.
well, I don't know. They have a patent in the sense of that they have their designs that they could put out. Nobody could steal their designs. They have, sort of like a copyright. Like, you could have Batman, and then you could have an equal character, and if in a different company. But Gunnar is saying that they have the patent over the concept, not their design of the glasses. They're saying they have a patent on a curve. Well, that's the point. That's what they're fighting them in court for, because they're saying, well, we have a patent on a curve. No, you can have a patent on a sort of curve. Yeah.
So there are two kinds of patents. There's a utility patent and a design patent. The design patent covers things like, let's go with the difference between Android and iPhone, because that's really easy for me. iPhones run on an iOS system. The internal design is very different to that of an Android device. Both of those are covered by utility patents. A design patent is going to cover it's also covered by a design patent. A utility patent covers what it's for.
The functionality is utility, design is
utility patents are very, very, very weird because they can protect certain concepts, but they don't cover other concepts. For instance, for me personally, I don't think this is a utility patent issue. I think this is a design patent issue. Because really you can't utility patent gaming glasses. Glasses have existed for so long. If I want, I can go and I can say, look, I want my glasses dipped in yellow tint. And they will do it for me, prescription glasses, anytime I ask. So really, it's not an issue of utility, it's an issue of design. And if the design is close enough, my personal opinion, because I've seen both glasses, is that they're not. While they are similar, they are not as similar as one would think. And super big shout outs to No Scope for actually responding. I think it's really important as any company to come out and be open and honest about anything that's going on. And I think the fact that Gunner's not doing that is really, really sleazy. No offense, Gunner. But you should come out and have a conversation with people about what you're doing and why.
Yeah, I mean, and that's really all I want. It's not like I even want to corner them. It's just that when I present this, you know, I want to understand what is it, if you can discuss it. I mean, they could even say, you know, it's an active case. We can't discuss this right now, and that's fine. You know, but I'm not getting that response from No Scope.
From a journalism point of view, you try to get both sides. You're not trying to corner them by asking them for an interview. They can at least decline to comment. I mean, and that's better than doing nothing. But we've got some pretty good stuff going on in chat. The one we were laughing at.
I really love the glasses like Gunners have been used at gun ranges. 100% true. I have a pink pair and I have pink ears. Like, I live in the South. I'm a gun-toting person.
Yeah, please. I've already seen those.
Yeah, like they exist. So if you're gonna sue companies like No Scope, why are you not suing other companies like this?
Yeah.
And it's because it's specifically a gaming patent.
Actually, they have
plastered on their website.
Let me correct that. They have sued other smaller companies, and those companies are no longer in business.
They're just looking to take out.
If you do some research, you'll find that. But Gunner is.
I mentioned that.
Yeah.
I mentioned that. And it's you know, it's a shame because especially for prescription, I stare at the computer all the time, and things like that would be very useful. And to be able to get them at an affordable price is something that I think that I truly believe benefits the market, and it benefits just generally people.
It benefits the economy.
And there's a reason
100%.
that you can't have.
Yeah.
Competition
it's the reason why you can't have a monopoly. It's it's a sense.
Competition is super important for driving market forces.
Oh yeah, totally.
Economics 101, baby. Like,
and I'll say,
Please.
like, there have been years where I got like a cheap pair of glasses so that I could save up to get the pair that I really wanted the next year. I collect my glasses. And like, this is my cheap pair. I got these practically for free, and my other ones all break because they're expensive, but they're frail. You know, and these are the ones that are still stuck on my head. So what does that say? You know, but it's a matter of it.
I mean, I paid, I'm not gonna lie, these are Versace frames. I paid $400 for the frames 4 years ago. I have my lenses replaced. I have the trifocal lenses, so I have the like middle for computers. I have the bottom for reading. I'm basically like, I have really weird vision. Thanks to stigmatism. But like, I literally bought the cheapest glasses I could for like 5 years just so that I could buy these frames.
Yeah. And
So guys,
that's a point. You're not gonna be taking away from business necessarily, and that concept is just bizarre to me. I'm sorry to cut you off, Carmen.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You had a very, very valid point. I just want to ask each of you, while we're still on this topic, does this tarnish or stop you from purchasing from Gunner if you have in the past, or would you in the future, or would you wait and see how this shakes out before you decide? I mean, even if they had some kind of sale, if they were trying to, because of this kind of press, whether it's negative or positive, because we're not saying that we're tarnishing Gunner. What we're saying is, Gunner, we give you the option to rebuttal this
and
argument.
It's always on the table.
Speak your piece, because we have our journalistic ethics, and we want to hear both sides of the story, and you've been unresponsive thus far. It doesn't mean you can't contact us after the show, and or our fans won't tweet you and say, hey, you can come and join us. Right, guys? Hashtag it, tweet them.
I want to put this
come join us.
Man, it's funny.
Please do. I really want to see it.
Put it on the Twitter. put it on the Twitter and tag us
Yeah.
if you can't get it in the chat. But let me ask him first. Would you purchase something from Gunner now, or does it make a difference to you in their character and as a brand?
Well, you see, my thing is, okay, had I not known that they had refused to comment, or had they just actually ignored you, Paige?
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe they're getting a lot of inquiries for all I know, and I'm the smallest
Well-
fry in the pan,
Well,
you know.
and-
But I don't know
But
about that.
I
Though.
still think it's a courtesy. I mean, how hard is
Yeah.
it? Because I'm sure even if they're getting a lot of inquiries, they can draft up an email that they can immediately send back to you saying, "We decline." Yeah, we decline to comment on this. And I think that that's really poor on their part. I think that they've got themselves into a hole and they know it. And journalists are coming after them, and people are coming after them, and they're gonna pay for it. And if it was up to, if I was gonna buy those glasses, which I wouldn't because eyeballs, they're gone anyway. I definitely wouldn't purchase from Gunner. I wouldn't. I think that it's just, in this whole fight over it, it's just stupid. I mean, come on. Yeah, I wouldn't purchase from them. No.
What you say?
I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't purchase from them, and I'm not saying that they'll never get back to me. I've been doing this for a week. Who really knows where it's going? I'm only reporting on how far I am in this article, and I'm trying to research it properly because it's a serious issue to me. It's a real legal battle, and when you're reporting on something like that, you need to take it very seriously. You need to make sure that you're presenting the facts properly. And I am totally against, though, the idea of a company trying to shut down a littler guy. And if that is what they're doing, I don't like that. And if it isn't what they're doing, then I want to understand, what exactly do you have patented? Where, what exactly do you have the rights to? And why are you strong-arming in that way? Because that's what it feels like, and that's what it looks like. And
yeah,
it's not looking good for them from where I'm standing.
They're ruining their credibility.
Ooh.
I mean, totally. I mean,
Okay.
Did you see it?
Pyrofire just wrecked Gunner
he did.
and No Scope and
Again, Pyro,
Samsung
again.
all in one.
Pyro comes here to wreck shit.
Pyro is like the reigning MVP of chat, and we are going to have to make some kind of a trophy graphic or something to put in the chat down there to say "Take Pyro down." We're going to have to put some challenges out for you people,
Like, seriously.
because Pyro's back for the second time, still holding that belt.
He's right. Instead of needing to wear glasses, why aren't companies making monitors that decrease eye strain?
Yeah,
Why is that so difficult? Or why are they not making? I mean, like, you could make the plastic protective film. I just had a $5 million idea. You could make the plastic protective film and like
give all your stuff away for free, Pixie.
Patent that shit right now.
Yo, I am patenting that shit right now because I talked about it on this show and have proof it's technically got a patent on it.
Oh yeah,
guys,
Pyro
now
works in a trophy shop.
Oh,
He can
Pyro, make
himself
a
his
trophy.
own
I've got this. All right, I got this shit. Not only am I gonna wreck Samsung, but I'm also gonna wreck Gunner and No Scope all at once.
Guys, so if you want to see that GIF that Paige was talking about, it is now officially up on our Twitter for Ladies of the Roundtable. I'm about to retweet it. So it's going to go out here in a few
I'm putting
minutes.
another one up.
Are you? Okay. And if you haven't followed us, excuse me, if you haven't followed us on the Twitter,
I'm putting it under the LORT Live hashtag.
Please.
The Twitter is up there. So I'm going to put that back out.
Collie has a great patent. Dogger-shaped glasses.
But no, like, let me tell you what I would do. I first of all will not buy from Gunner. Number one. And it's for a couple of reasons. I understand that there is a competing company. I understand that economically that's actually really good for the market. I also understand that economically, like, you have to start somewhere, and you don't want, like, who's gonna buy a 14-year-old kid like a $300 pair of Gunners? Like, who Who does that?
If I was a parent, I'd be like, no, you don't need them, you dweeb.
I mean, yeah, no, exactly. Stop playing on the computer all day and you're not gonna hurt your ass.
I'm just gonna become old and jaded.
Exactly. But like, not only am I not going to buy from Gunners, but this makes me literally want to go and buy like 6 pairs of no scopes.
Yeah.
I would literally go and funnel the amount of money it costs me to buy a pair of Gunners into no scopes right now. And
Guys,
then on top
let
of that,
me-
if I had Gunners, I would sell them.
Let me just throw up No Scope's Twitter handle in chat, and we are in negotiations for them to be a promotional sponsor, not because of this particular incident, but because they are awesome with streamers. They give out a lot of promotional product, and they're obtainable at the price point that they are. So if you are actually in favor of supporting the little guy, just tweet him and let him know how you feel about this particular lawsuit, and give them your point of view, because I'm sure they'd like to know whether you feel that this is justified or not. It's something that is fairly simple.
It has to go to the court. Nobody here has read all the legal documents, and that's something really important to consider. We right now, all we know is one side of the story. And, I was trying to become a lawyer. And it's, I know really, I just need to be able to pay for that LSAT after I get my bachelor's. But it's definitely something, it doesn't look good, and I would like to hear the other side of the story. And I'm definitely going to follow this case and see how it turns out.
Yeah, I think it's definitely. I want to hear Gunner's side. I'm very interested because I'm very interested in that patent. And if it is patent, and if it's utility, then it should be public knowledge. We should be able to see it. We should be able to look it up on, if you have the patent, you can look it up on us.gov.
I think you can look at patents through the patent office, though.
I think you can, yeah.
You can if you're looking for the right information.
Yeah. They talk about their patent all over their website too, Gunner. It's one of their big points that they put right on the front page, is that they have a patented tint and a patented design with the curve.
But it doesn't give us the specifics as how they are saying that they can shut No Scope or anyone else down. That's what we're looking for, and that should be updated on their website if that's the case. If they have nothing to hide, then why don't they put that? Just put something up there that gives us that lead into not just the color, but blah 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 blah, because it is something that's public. You can look at it if we had the correct information, which would be the patent ID number and the company name, which we don't have those two pieces to put together at this point. So chat's on fire. I mean,
now they're arguing about beats.
Yeah.
Android beats. I just searched Gunner and there's a patent for a vacuum cleaner. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
She's on a roll. I
was trying to see if I could find it.
That GIF, yo. Okay. You guys got to check that out because that's rather funny.
What? There's a patent on light-based touch controls on a steering wheel. Whoa.
Patent surfing.
So that's what I mean. Like, there was a lot of stuff that I was getting caught up in doing this research, and it was just, find something
you could
that
suck
is
days of your life away.
I dare you.
So
go ahead.
Do they have
the
patent number on the website?
I'll check up right now. I don't remember. I don't have those notes pulled up.
Let's move into Pixie's topic, by the way. Guys, and if you don't know, if you have not been here before and you know nothing about this show and you have never watched us, I'm going to forewarn you. Miss Pixie can get a little excited. She can get a little vocal.
She can yell loud. In your ear.
So you might want to adjust your volume if you got headsets on, because it's going to raise up a little bit, and we're about to get keep it 100 with you and be on the real. So I'm just gonna shut it over to Miss Pixie, and then we'll take each bullet point, Pixie, and allow us to comment before we move on to the next one.
Yeah, because
And
there's a lot.
Did you play
Okay.
the bingo game?
All right. So, I really love Law and Order SVU. It's actually one of my favorite shows on television. And I, kind of saw last week that they were going to do a gaming centric episode. I was like, oh, this could be so cool. Except it wasn't. And before I start on this, I want to say that all of these opinions are strictly like me. This is not the opinions of any other host or our production company or our company as a whole. These are my personal opinions surrounding this topic. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there before I get started. Basic synopsis of the show, guy gamers, like kidnap, like rape, SWAT, a female video game designer, and turn it into a game with the police. They level up. Like, okay.
Did it end with game over?
Okay, no, it was Ice-T going, there is no reset button in the real world.
Yes, it did.
Thanks, Ice-T, thanks.
It did. Just in case you didn't watch it.
So it starts off, and you can immediately tell that it's going to push an agenda. Ice-T is the person who is at a gaming convention who seems kind of knowledgeable. The blonde, and I always forget her name, she is the one who questions and is like, oh, what is this? Like, she's genuinely interested and doesn't understand gaming culture, anything about it. And then you have Carisi, who, like, in the very beginning of the episode, he's like, you can tell they're not noobs. And Carisi's like, what's noob short for? And Ice-T's like, newbies. And Carisi's like, oh yeah, because that's so much shorter. Like, you can tell that it's this dichotomy of, like, someone who kind of is supposed to look like they know what they're talking about, the person who has no clue, and then the other person who, no matter what, is negative about everything that's said. So you can clearly tell this show's going to push an agenda. The agenda is really focused around Gamergates and that whole thing.
So let me just stop you real quick, because if you look at the Twitter for this particular show and the actual network that is producing the show, they literally are using hashtags like Game On. They're using hashtags
Game On SUV.
There were other ones that were sound bites or clips from the show specific to gamer lingo, in their opinion. Hashtag intimidation gamer. I mean, they were really pushing the Gamergate without using the Gamergate tag. I mean, it was very specific. You knew, I mean, if you were in the culture, you knew that this was what was going to happen. So they're playing up what's happening in our industry to promote this particular episode.
Absolutely. So the first thing I'm going to say is the gamers in this episode were not Gamergate people. They were gamers who basically had serious issues with, like, mental illness. They blurred the lines between what was reality and what was a game. They even followed, like, mods within the game to, like, play out their scenarios. They make it look like it's a fact that gaming women are, like, raped and molested and sexually assaulted, and that this is just a fact of the gaming community, and it's a fact of gaming culture. And it's not. It's a symptom of, like, shitty people doing really shitty things. It has nothing to do with gaming culture as a whole. It has to do with shitty people doing shitty stuff. So that's, like, the first point I want to make. If anyone wants to go ahead and, hop on the train and talk about that.
I'm gonna go to Kim. If you have any comments, feedback, or
On that
just
specific thing, yeah, I would have to say that I'm in agreement with that. If that's how they played it up, we get some shit. We do. I mean, I'm not gonna say that we don't, but that's not the norm. This isn't really what happens, and so I will have to agree with you on that part, that I think that was a very misrepresentation. So
6.
Well, let me start out by telling you my favorite story of Ice-T or Ice Cube, whichever one it is on the show, doing being an expert on SVU. He was there was like a gay sex ring where some guy who was like a football player or something was cheating on his wife with men, I'm sorry, and pretending like he was straight.
Yeah. And they had like the poker night, and he was like, "It's not gay, it's men on the down low."
Yeah,
But it is men on the down low. Anyways,
he's on the
go ahead,
down
Six.
low, and he leaves, and that's all he does the entire show. It was ridiculous. So that show, I don't know what people expect from it. I think that it's going to be sensationalized. You, even if you do not, or even if you do believe, I'm not getting into that debate tonight, that 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 women get raped in their lifetime. Even if you do believe that, there are more rapes that happen every day that you will witness if you watch every episode of SVU that airs, than even if you believe that statistic. So that's a very sensationalized show for very personal, very visceral issues. So anything that comes out of that show, I definitely take with a grain of salt. And the same thing with any sort of Law and Order. That's not how a courtroom works. That's just not how the world works. And
it's made for TV.
Yeah, it's made for TV. I actually have a really funny bingo card for the Gamergate SVU that I'm going to put in the chat.
But yes, we should live tweet that bad boy. I feel
the link
like
gets deleted. Can somebody say
put it in? Give it to producer Ian, and he'll throw it up there. I think that you're right. It's TV. It's produced for ratings. There's a fine line that they have to walk. But I also am very excited about the fact that this has hit mainstream TV. That means that, good or bad, we've hit the general populace with something that really affected us as a community, on both sides of the fence, whether you are for Gamergate or whether you are against Gamergate, or in the middle and really were just an innocent bystander that got ran over by that bus. Didn't even see it coming, tracks up your back. You're like, what the hell? So it's kind of interesting, and I think that, or I'd like to hope that it actually, thanks for the follow, it actually opened up a dialogue with some people. Maybe there were some parents sitting watching it with their 18-year-old son, or something like that occurred, and somebody looked at each other and said, maybe I should check and see what my kid's playing on the internet, or go see what's going on the computer a little more often, because you don't really know. You just assume that everything's hunky-dory. So, I'd like to think that we can have some kind of takeaway from it.
It's just, there's so much in this episode that is so wrong. They made the group doing all of the harassment essentially look like the hacking group Anonymous. If you don't know who they are, it's not really hard to find out. And in my opinion, I've never seen like GG supporters who were not pretty vocal about it. And there are some big names, Thunderfoot, Mundane Matt. All of these people support GG and are very upfront and open about it. There are people who have lost their jobs supporting GG. then you get into the fact that, like, the main character was the only one in this who was harassed.
By Fedora.
Which, like, God.
Sorry. That was too fucking funny.
Yo, where's my neck beard? Because, you know, only dudes play video games, apparently. It was that she was the only one harassed. She was the one that was doxxed. She was the one who was swatted. Most cases of swatting occurred to men. That's who they occur and happen to. Not females. Like, that type of harassment is not as common with women as it is men. So that's factually incorrect. Both people from both sides of this argument have been doxxed. It's just how it is. People have had their personal information posted from both sides, which is super shitty. But it's like, there's technology everywhere and people know how to access it. Like, it's the nature of the internet now. Like, then you get into the fact that, like, at the end of the episode, she's terrified and is like, they already, like, got me out. So if you look at this in relation to people like Anita Sarkeesian and Brianna Wu, like, these people are still around. Like, they're still as fired up as ever. Like, the harassment that's going on is completely opposite of what the harassment was considered to be in Gamergate and with what went on in Gamergate. Like, I'm pretty sure nobody is raped. I'm pretty sure nobody was set up with a gun so that when the police came, they almost shot the person. Like, these are just things that didn't happen. And this is a narrative that has been sold to people. Like, these people have fucking drunk the Kool-Aid and they have joined the cult. And that is a problem. It is a big problem. Because when you look back at things like this, all you're going to have are, shows like Law and Order SVU and the news articles, all of which only show one side of this narrative. And that's a huge problem. Huge problem. And there are still the things that are coming out of people's mouths that are just absolutely ridiculous. Did anybody see the new article that, like, Brianna Wu posted about how to solve harassment on the internet? Don't let anybody say anything bad about her, Anita Sarkeesian, or Zoe Quinn. It was get rid of anything that could be considered sexist on Reddit. Like, and it was 4 things that would, like, solve all harassment on the internet. First of all, if you get rid of anything that you think is sexist on Reddit, like, bye Reddit, see you later! Like, that's what's going to happen. And it's just, like, the narratives that are being sold about this and the things that people are talking about this are not in any way what this actually is. And it boggles my mind and it upsets me so much. And it's something that needs to be fixed. Because when people look back on this is what they're going to see. People who don't know anything about this and who aren't going to put in the time to do the research are going to be people who watch this episode of Law & Order SVU and go, wow, gamers are awful. And they're going to be the people that join in with the people who are in Congress and the Senate who are trying to make laws to tax games, to get rid of games that are too violent in nature, to censor them. Like,
yeah,
this is a
they
problem.
Forget about First Amendment.
like all of this bleeds over and is such an issue. And I think it's important that people talk about what everything actually is and that people are fully informed. And so it really irked me. Paige, what do you think?
I definitely agree with you that conversation should be open and conversation should not be off limits. people say plenty of offensive things to me in a day. What are you going to do? People are going to be offensive sometimes.
Lethal.
Sometimes you could block them, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you want to, sometimes you don't. Telling somebody that they can't say a certain thing, that's bad, especially because normally in these situations, when somebody can't say something, the other party could still say what they want to say. And that always annoys me. That happens a lot in a lot of different situations where you have an oppressed group or a minority group, and it becomes okay in the reverse for the minority group to get sort of a vengeance out of it. And that's something that, by closing off conversation, you facilitate. And I think that's important to note. People should be able to discuss things. People should be able to be educated. So, especially on a journalistic perspective, that is a cornerstone even of journalistic ethics. Being able to facilitate these conversations and not wanting to close off the conversations. Now, I have no problem with somebody saying, like when Anita shut off her comments, I have no problem with that. The same reason I have no problem with PewDiePie shutting off his comments.
Yep.
It's not stopping the conversation. He's not stopping his videos from being shared. She's not stopping her videos from being shared. She's not stopping them from being ripped. They're being put out for free. You know, you're still giving that access to this information. You're not being a dictator in that situation. That's fine. But saying, I think it's pretty narrow to say, hey, here's 4 things to solve a really complex and really pernicious issue in any time, but especially now. You know, harassment is terrible. Harassment spans all sorts of demographics. And to say that you can narrow it down to 4 things, I don't know. I don't see how you could do that without some sort of a totalitarian kind of a rule. It doesn't make any sense to me. I could say, oh, just respect each other and everything will be okay. But then you get into arguments over what is respect to you, what does respect mean to me. I just had an argument with a friend of mine a little while ago about being ethical, and she thinks if a politician cheats on his wife, that should be relevant and should be reported on. And I'm like, no, that's your morality. I don't believe that that's necessarily, if somebody wants to clean the oceans, who cares if he's banging his neighbor, in my opinion. I don't think that should be public knowledge. And, you know, there are people who believe that because you're in the public, everything should be their knowledge. I don't agree with that either. So that's a really complex issue, and I could go on and on a day, so I'm going to cut myself off on it a little bit. We've definitely talked about this a lot before, too. And it's something that's a note that I definitely feel very passionately about. Although you could express things as opinions, I think that they should be stated as such, rather than being put out as rules to be followed, rather than guidelines. What do you think, Shriv?
I'm gonna throw it to Kimmy. I'm really interested in hear what she has to say.
I'm sorry, I kind of did you switch to me?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. I thought you were typing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot of comments going on in the chat about how, you know, popular opinion, you know, isn't taken by Congress and all that junk, and I say poo on that.
Exactly.
On that.
Because, I mean, come on, man. Like, I don't know. I gotta coming from my life and being a homosexual, just, you know, it's proven. It's a fact. Like, you know, if we were gonna say that, you know, Congress is only gonna go off facts, well, if Congress only goes off facts, gay couples have a lower divorce rate. So, of course, if we were gonna go off facts, then gay marriage would be legal. I mean, it all comes down to, we have to keep the unruly masses quiet and be like, here you go. You know, I mean, it's just basic hashtag poo on that. I'm sorry.
Hashtag poo on that, yep.
But you know what? You know, that's not even what we're talking about, but it's just a big ploy. They just want ratings, and that's just how the entertainment industry is, and that's how networks are trying to go. I mean, to be completely honest, I know it more than anybody. just because I hear it all day, every day. Television ratings are down. I mean, they need something. They need this. They need this, and they're going to frame it in the way that they think will cause the most controversy. And I think that that's what they were trying to shoot for. And is that right? In my opinion, no, because they should be framing it how it really is. And since they're not, it's up to us as gamers and as people who are following Gamergate to be like, no, that's not how it is, and to really step up and say, like, here's how it's going down, here's how it's not being portrayed correctly. We can't let this be what people see, because it's really going to hurt us as an industry and as people and as gamers. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, and I want to follow up with what Kim said. You guys, I just tweeted a little while ago and tagged a couple of people, in the show, as well as the actual SVU official Twitter handle. And if you guys want to retweet and tell them how you feel, this is the time. This is the time to do it while they're listening, because believe me, Twitter is a lot of things. So one of the main things it is a way to get brands to listen to you as a consumer. So take advantage of it. If you felt that it was jaded and it wasn't, the reflection of who you are as a gamer and what's going on in your community, and I'll say this again, who you are as a gamer and in your community, let them know. Because really, all three of you guys are correct that this is how we are portrayed. Obviously, there's a lot of people watching this that are still going to throw that thing in our face, and we get time and time again. Our friend PSP always talks about it. We are not the Antichrist. We don't cause every incident that comes up, whether it's shooting or some kind of violence, because of video games. We're not the fallback drop, excuse for everything anymore. So maybe we need to take this time to utilize the tools that we've been giving via the internet and social media to make a stand at some point. That's what we're here for. We're here to be the voice of you and to kind of use this platform to educate, inspire, and encourage you to do just that. Go ahead, Paige.
I don't think that these shows are a portrayal of reality in general. So I think that that's why I have less of a problem with it. I think that I just don't expect that from them. I do understand why people would, and I do understand why, especially as gaming in particular is coming into the mainstream, why it's important that if you're going to highlight negative things, they should be things that are actually negatively impacting the community on a realistic level, like the gambling aspect of a video game, for example. That could be really dangerous, and that is having children dying of starvation because their parents aren't getting off of World of Warcraft. That's a really important issue that should be addressed in SVU, in my opinion.
I think that you're right.
It doesn't even need to be sensationalized. It's already naturally very horrible. So I guess I didn't even watch it. I knew what it was. I didn't want to give it ratings. And maybe that's, poo on me, but it was just something that I just didn't have the stomach for it. I know how they are. And I kind of think that it's funny that they're that outlandish. I think that they're a parody of what even television is in a lot of respects. And this is coming from the country where 2.5 Men was the top rated show for how many years? And that show is terrible. They show, the inside digestion of a fart, and play with concepts like murder as if they're flirty and cute. They're just, that's what television is here. That's what popular television is.
The last thing I'm going to say about this is, regardless of what you think, popular opinion has an impact on everything. It's why people in murder trials get sequestered very often, because it can influence your opinion on whether or not a person's guilty, regardless of evidence. It's a proven fact that very often when you present someone with information that their opinion is factually unsound, that you only make them believe their opinion more. I can pull up some studies for you guys and show you guys this information. So the problem with things like this is, regardless of whether or not you know it's fiction, if this is the narrative that's being sold and people aren't correcting it, you're going to have people who then pull up the studies that go, video games make people violent, because there are studies that do show that violent television and violent video games help to promote violence within a certain time period after watching or playing those games. It's a psychological fact. And these are things that people can push. But these are things that, like, people can push. And
that's the same thing that Anita says, though, with video games reinforcing negative behavior towards women and negative beliefs against women and sexualizing killing women and harming women. You know, that's the same thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be an end-all, be-all, and there are people who can look at it realistically, and there are people who aren't. That's unfortunately, just...
My point, though, is that these people can then look up all these studies and they can go lobby and they can create problems for us as gamers. Because it's not always about being right. It's about being the person who talks the loudest.
Yeah.
Well, we need to be able to protect, ultimately, in that situation, our freedom of expression. And I think that is the most important and the most valid thing that we could take away from this show at all tonight, personally. Our freedom of expression is... So that's what I wanted to become a lawyer for. I wanted to be a First Amendment lawyer. You know, it is so important to me that people can speak, and they can speak freely worldwide. And things like video games, they are art, they are science, they are entertainment. They are so many things, and they are so important, and they are so remarkable in where we are as humans and what we can create. And they're a mixture of all the things that make us incredibly unique from anything else on this planet. And they need to be defended. They need to be studied as art. They need to be studied and protected as entertainment. And they need to be protected the same way that SVU would be. You know, if they want to spew their stuff, there needs to be a right for somebody to be able to say what they want, to portray what they want, and tell their story in that medium too. Because it is a medium, and it is an expression. And that's enough preaching about that. Don't let people take away your First Amendment right.
I do like what Kim said about the fact that, you know, it is a ratings race. I said studios and TV
Networks.
executives and whatever the case may be will, even with movies, they have to dig deep and try to find something that's going to grab people's attention, whether it's bad or explicit or...
right now, and I hate to interrupt you, but right now, we just talked about this, and it brings up a very good point. The TV's demographic age right now is much older than it used to be. They aren't catching people in our generation because people in our generation are cutting the cord. They do not want TV. They don't want it. They would rather do streaming. So I think that they're bringing this in thinking, oh, this is a hot topic for people of the younger generation. And like we can bring back people to TV. They need this. They need these ratings. And that's why they're trying to make it so negative, because that gets people.
You know, I also think that it's like anything else that's in the media or TV or movies. It's sensationalized. Like, like you said, what do we expect? It's TV. Look at the #1 movie that's going to be at the theaters at midnight tonight is, I hate to say it all out loud, but 50 Shades of Grey. I mean...
I'm just telling you, if there's not an Xbox in that goddamn playroom, I'm going to be hella pissed.
See, this is something that me and Pixie can agree on any day of the week. I love my Xbox. You can't pay me to buy a PlayStation, and I will say that on air. You just can't.
I'm gonna
not
throw
unless
that.
I already
I need
have
to
my
throw.
Nintendo and my Xbox. It's just
I need to
not
throw
gonna
that
happen.
disclaimer out again. The opinions
We had it
are
at the
all the
beginning of the
opinions
show.
of the hosts, not the show.
We should just run a banner that says that
Yeah,
the whole
right
time
across the
at this
bottom.
point.
So
Like-
PlayStation, hey, no harm, no foul. We're just giving our opinions of the product.
They just sold PC Universe Online. That's it. That's all I played from them. Like that's it. Right now,
man.
you know, like I have a Vita and I don't even have a PSN account. I've had no need for one. It's that bad.
All I'm saying is if you want to laugh at the ridiculousness of 50 Shades of Grey, there's a guy, you should look it up on YouTube. It's 50 voices or 50 impressions of Grey. And it's like 20 minutes of this guy doing like Simpsons impressions, Peter Griffin impressions,
Is he
and
reading
reading
the
50 Shades of
excerpts?
Grey. It's hilarious.
I need to go see that. Oh my goodness. So ladies, do we
You can still defend the First Amendment and call a book trash. Like, that's actually using your First Amendment rights.
Yeah.
That's pro tip from Pixie to you.
Pro tip, I can think a book never should have been made because it's garbage, but that doesn't mean that I have the right to tell them not to make it.
We need onslaught for this channel because you could make like a fucking ding and like have tips come across.
It is full of emails.
Oh my goodness.
What is that? Look, somebody gave me all 3 of those books. All right, I could finish the first one because I was reading emails. They were given to me. I always finish books that are given to me as gifts. It's just a thing with me. I read the 2 Twilight books I was given because they were gifts. It's emails. It's emails. They're not even well-written emails. They're just emails. All right,
she's upset, man.
Okay.
No, you see what you done did?
Okay. So
emails.
For both 50 Shades of Grey and Twilight, I read the first book and went through it with a box of Sharpies in multiple colors and corrected all of the grammatical spelling and spelling errors in each of the books. Proceeded to get the information for the publisher out of like the book, package them up in an envelope and send them back. And say I fixed it for you.
Pixie. Because she is like, listen, this is not correct. I need to show you your ways, the errors of your ways.
No.
I'm going to pay for the postage myself and the highlighters and send it to you.
Email it to them. They love emails in 50 Shades of Grey.
They just like, goddamn emails!
I know. I'm sitting there reading, and I'm like, I avoid my inbox if I possibly can, because I get so many emails that it's overwhelming, and to sit down in my leisure time and watch people pretending to flirt in an email, it's just like
you've got mail.
It's like, why didn't you answer my emails today? Oh, I don't know. Why didn't you answer my emails today? My goddess was doing an inner lotus pose, and I was just like, you know what? I can't.
Like the 90s.
I put the book down. And I don't get it. It's not even like,
the vibes,
you know what? It's
so
like
real.
the sexual abuse isn't even the most offensive part in that book to me. It's literally that they
email.
The email.
I did learn a really important fact from that book. Nipple clamps are nowhere in the Bible.
Oh my God, producer Ian is the man. Do you see that he put the disclaimer scrolling across the bottom of our stream? That's why we love Ian. Yeah. He's like, I'm on it, bitches.
Look, I want my royalties from that. That was my idea.
Oh man. You know, the next thing that producer Ian's going to have to do for our next show is we're going to have hashtag bombs come up across the channel when we get rowdy up in here. So when we do the hashtag emails.
No, I'll get a sound bite from the song Bombs Over Baghdad and I'll just play it whenever it happens.
So that's going to be funny. Anyway, I think we should go into either shout outs or do you guys want to do what are we playing? Because I know that Paige has got something she wants to talk about and we can touch base on that a little bit. If we do what are we playing, Ian, we might want to use that timer for this particular segment because we're running a little long. So what do you think, producer Ian? Give me a yes or no if you think that's a possibility. All right, so that's a negative because he doesn't have it set up, but maybe we'll use that for next week because we are running long, and I think if we do what are we playing, we might get a little. We're rambunctious this week. We were like, whoo, we have not been on for a week. We're ready to get caught up. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with Paige because she's got something she wants to share about the game that she's in love with, other than DC Universe.
So, well, DC Universe is a love-hate relationship. if I ever had one. Well, first of all, I had a really, really cool interview last week that's going to be put up with Dave Gibbons. He was the artist for Watchmen, and he was the artist and co-writer for Kingsman, The Secret Service, which is the Mark Miller, Dave Gibbons movie that just came out. I'm actually going to be able, I believe, to get an interview with Mark Miller as well, which is really exciting. I've been talking to him on Twitter. They are both the sweetest guys. I wrote a blog post about how much I love Dave Gibbons. He was the nicest guy I've ever met at a signing. And I covered the event for JG Comic Books in Manhattan, formerly Jim Hanley's. They have a new location. Sandy wiped out their old location. It's a lot smaller, but they're awesome. I've loved that shop since I came to New York. My second shout out is going to be to Underworld Ascendant. Ultima's IP has been lifted, and there is a indie developer company with people who worked on System Shock and Ultima Underworld and Bioshock Infinite and Deus Ex, and they are trying to get money to get this Underworld Ascendant game to be a continuation or a new Ultima game out for PC. Very exciting. They're pretty close to their full funding, and they have about 20 more days left. It's looking good for them, and I hope that it gets funded because it looks awesome. And, of course, I have to give a shout out to my new boyfriend, who is actually my girlfriend. Sorry, Arcade Android. I'm stealing her from you. It's on air. Yeah.
I'm really mad about this because I tried to steal her a couple of weeks ago and I was unsuccessful.
Yeah.
You got
It's about to be.
Give me those pro tips.
Tell me how to get the honeys.
Girlfriend. Well, you just gotta be unavailable. Is really what it is. Just
Play hard
I
to
think
get.
my collection of stuffed animals really speaks to not that. I'm just saying.
Well, I bribed her with a stuffed T-Rex. I figured that would win her over.
Yo, I got Captain America Bear and Batman, and they both play Batman. Like, one of them plays Batman song, and the other one plays the Captain America song.
And My Little Ponies.
You know, the T-Rex now. And give a shout out to This Is Another Castle. I started streaming for them. I'm doing Burial at Sea, part 1, part 2. Joe Fielder, actually, who was a developer, a lead developer on Bioshock Infinite, gave me some tips for streaming the game too. I did an interview with him a while back, and he was really sweet about it. Sent me a nice email. So
When's he gonna be on our show?
Joe Fielder, when he's available, he's trying to get the Black Glove
we got
up in the air.
We can book him in June.
When he gets that game on the roll, definitely. Hopefully that works. I want that game so badly. I want the Black Glove so badly. I'm so upset that Kickstarter failed. So shout out to the Black Glove. And who's next on the list? Because I can keep going with all the games that I love, all the Kickstarters that I want to see funded. So,
Pixie, go.
I just really want to give a shout out to Escape Chattanooga. So much fun. They do, like, you solve like, they lock you in a room and they give you an hour to solve all these puzzles and find the combinations to, like, get out and find all these things. And it was so much fun. I'm probably going back there tomorrow to do the other one that they have. I love you guys. I'm gonna get a bunch of info on them and do some really cool interviews, hopefully, and I'll have those up on the website. But, like, godly, just
Yeah. She had a religious experience, guys.
I did.
Just say.
Yeah. Because let me tell you what, I love to solve puzzles at 4:00 on a Friday.
Yeah. Get
So-
the honeys.
And of course, you're still playing.
I
see.
see.
And if you guys didn't know, Pixie is streaming IC all day, every day. And are you still officially over on the IC channel?
I am.
Do you have
I
a schedule over
stream for
there?
them on the main channel.
Do you have set time over there?
It's usually Fridays from 2 to 4. I had a dentist today. Had to get a cut.
Fridays from 2 to 4 on the IC main channel. You can catch Miss Pixie over there laying it down, giving you some tips on that game that I still cannot play to save my life. I tried twice. I ain't going back. Sorry, Pixie. Just can't do it. It's not for me. I keep picking myself up off the ground too many times, and I feel bad about myself. Want to eat my feelings, so not going to happen again. Kimmy, go.
I'm gonna give a shout out to all the Lesbros that came by and chat today, representing that Lesbro love. I'm also gonna give a shout out to Macy, although she's not here. She's outside with our redneck fire in the front yard. Because
Not in the
that's
backyard.
That's
but in the
how
front
we
yard.
roll in Texas. We to put a bonfire in our front yard.
Are you
I'm gonna give
roasting some kind of animal on that thing?
No, we're just
Okay,
gathering
I just
around.
thought I'd check in.
We're just gathering around, drinking, chilling. Our neighbors are like, "What are they doing?"
Burning shit. Burning evidence.
Wait,
And
wait.
since this is a honey stream, I'm gonna give a shout out to all my past honeys and say, "You wish you was with this." Just kidding.
Uh-oh.
I can see them all now getting salty on the YouTube comments.
I can
You
just,
hate
I
you.
can feel like the loneliness seeping through my skin.
Oh man.
Hey,
You
Mal,
guys are too
I'm going
much,
to tell
man.
you.
I can't.
Shriv is not only wisdom smart, but she's street smart. You don't know me, yo. I keeping it real right here, 100. I keep these girls
Yo,
on task,
I'm
but I will
like
cut a bitch if I have to.
I'm like 99% sure Shriv knows how to make a prison shank out of a toothbrush. Like 99% sure.
Hey, I only bring the alter ego out when I need to. It's you know,
I
it's
don't
not
think
like
Mal's,
that.
I don't think Mal's seen me get ghetto.
No, Mal doesn't
I don't think
understand.
he's seen me get ghetto on the show.
We'll
As
take our
Carmen
earrings
called
off
it.
and our shoes off and go ahead and come at you, and I'm not scared like a spider monkey. Anyway, I'm gonna do my shout outs now. So my shout outs. Producer Ian, you know, he's doing a great job back there. He never gets to be on cam. We could put him on cam, but I don't think he would like it too much. But he's always back there doing his thing. He's timely. He's always on time. Is reliable, and never complains, even though we're a bunch of women that he works with. He says, "I'm a streamer, bitch. Get it real." Okay, it's just keeping us in check. We also want to give our shout outs to Miss Nikki. She's in chat. She's been hanging out trying to keep up with the chat, and we apologize for overlooking you. We just get rowdy, you know how we do, and we can't keep up with the chat.
She's not here to wrangle us in.
Yeah, we're like, there it went. Damn it. And we want to thank No Scope once again for giving us the time of day and letting Six get in a peek in that window and do the interview that's going to be coming up and will be found on our website. We want to say to Gunnar, if you would like a rebuttal once the article is up, please contact us via our website as well.
Or before it goes up.
Bliss before bliss.
Oh man, I want to.
You might change some opinions if you do.
I want to let you guys know that we are in full production for our LORT RPG live show. So we will be selecting the people that are going to be sitting in at our table here in March. That will be, not sure which day of the week. I'm thinking we're just still doing Sunday, but we will be doing the RPG live show, virtual live RPG table. I think it's a -6. I'm sorry. Nikki was handling that and never got back to me, so we are not on iTunes yet. We are hoping that we can get on iTunes very soon. The RPG live show will be in full effect in March, Lord willing, because it's a lot of contracts negotiation with our sponsor, which is Fantasy Grounds, to make sure that we have all the appropriate license for the games that we're going to play. So we want you guys to be able to join us and have a good time in the tabletop or RPG world that we're going to start sharing with you via our channel. I'm getting sidetracked by all of the typing into Skype. And as for what I'm playing, a bunch of nothing. Shravasta's working. I'm like a Jamaican. I got sick job, man. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have time to do anything. I have been watching my mini make some attempts to play Assassin's Creed Unity, and it is like watching somebody with ADD. I can't watch her play. She cannot follow instructions. And I can't watch somebody play a game and not follow the instructions. You have an objective. Why are you not going to the objective? Why are you all over the place just pushing people down and smoke?
Objectives are for noobs.
I'm like, I can't do it. Oh, man.
I just want to play Rock'em Sock'em Robots with everybody's face.
So, I do want to mention that I peeped into Regality's stream the other day, and she was playing some Minecraft. That was a new one for me.
My life is ending.
She will now be MIA for a little while. You won't find her unless you go checking out the Minecraft server that she's on. She's about to be sucked into that world. It's like crack once you get in there. So if you are playing Minecraft or you want to play Minecraft, hit her up. Might be something that's worthwhile doing.
I've never played Minecraft. Am I a real gamer? Does it count?
Yes,
played
ma'am.
Minecraft? You sure?
Also, if you
like
play
super popular.
Smite, we call it
Yeah.
Smote on my channel. If you play Smite, you can come over and play with us too. We do that as well. So, well,
We do. And I will be, hopefully, if I can swing it in the next 2 weeks, jumping back into Guild Wars 2 specifically for the World versus World. So if anybody is a PvPer, wants to come smash some face and wreck somebody's day, I will be jumping back in there to get out a little bit of aggression. Just a little bit. You know, so look me up on the tweeters or the Facebook and let's do the thing. Yes, we did say smote. On the strim, as they say, as the kids say.
Strim.
On the stream.
On the strim. So thank you for joining us for this episode, Ladies of the Roundtable 48. We will be doing show 50 soon. There are going to be some surprises on show 50. And hopefully you can join us again next week. Same bat channel, same bat time.
We're getting over the hill.
Producer Ian, roll them credits. Ladies, dance it out.
Oh, that troll doll!
Oh, that troll doll.
That troll though.
I don't know what to dance
You guys
with.
should just acknowledge. Next time, I'm just gonna have
No,
him in
Grandma.
front of the camp, and I'm just gonna sit underneath my computer.
What is that?
It's just yard, I promise. I don't know what the hell that was.
Tim is showing us inappropriate things. Are we done? Are we done?
Credits are rolling.